Welcome back to the 5 p.m. podcast, everyone. I'm Tina.
And I'm Dan. And Tina, I've been digging into this Ipsos poll about Canadian sentiment towards the U.S. after these tariff threats, and it's something.
Oh, I saw some headlines about that. It's not looking good, is it?
No, not really. 68% of Canadians now view the U.S. negatively. 68%. That's a asterisk major time shift.
Wow. So, more than 2/3 of Canadians are feeling, what? Frustrated? Angry?
I think it's a mix of things. Disappointment, for sure. Maybe even a bit of disbelief. It all stems from those proposed 25% tariffs on Canadian goods by former President Trump.
Right, those threats. Even though they're paused for now, the damage is seemingly done.
Exactly. And it's not just feelings either. It's impacting times behavior. 2/3 of Canadians are saying they'll avoid traveling to the U.S., and the same number plan to boycott U.S.-made goods.
That's a huge economic hit, potentially. Are we talking millions? Billions?
Billions, Tina. We're talking an estimated $4 times billion asterisk CAD in annual revenue losses based on pre-pandemic trade numbers. That's substantial.
So it's not just a symbolic gesture. Canadians are putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak.
Precisely. And what's also interesting? It's not just about the tariffs themselves. There's this underlying loss of confidence in the political process, too.
Oh? Tell me more about that.
The poll shows that only 47% of Canadians are confident in their own politicians' ability to manage the relationship with Trump.
Less than half. That's a pretty significant lack of trust.
It is. It suggests that people feel like they're caught in the middle of this political tug of war, and they're not sure anyone has a firm grip on the rope.
And this isn't the first time we've seen trade tensions between Canada and the U.S., right? I seem to remember something about steel and aluminum a few years back.
You're spot on. Back in 2018, Trump imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum, using what's called Section 232, basically, claiming it was a matter of national security.
So there's a history here. A precedent for this kind of economic friction.
Definitely. And, it's interesting to see Canadians are looking at domestic alternatives. Perplexity AI's CEO, Aravind Srinivas, mentioned an increase in Canadian search queries for local manufacturing.
That is interesting. Are they searching for specific product types? Like, are they looking for Canadian-made clothes? Or Canadian-made, appliances?
The reports I have seen don't get that granular. It's hard to know for sure. We would need way more information to get down to that level.
Makes sense. Still, it shows a shift, I think, in consumers, looking inward a bit.
And the thing is, the future looks pretty uncertain on this. The tariffs are paused, but what happens after the next U.S. election?
It's a big question mark. A new administration could completely change the approach, or double down. It's hard to say.
Exactly. And in the meantime, Canada might start looking to strengthen trade relationships elsewhere, like with the EU, for example.
Diversifying trade partnerships. That seems like a smart move, given the circumstances.
It is. It's about reducing reliance on a single, sometimes unpredictable, partner. Spreading the risk, so to speak.
So what's the big takeaway here, Dan? What should our listeners be thinking about?
I think it's that economic policy and public sentiment are deeply intertwined. These tariffs, or even just the asterisk threat times of them, can have a profound impact on how people feel, how they behave, and even how they view their own leaders. It all creates some major ripples.
And those ripples can extend far beyond the immediate economic consequences, potentially reshaping relationships for years to come. Food for thought for sure. Thanks for breaking that down for us.
My pleasure, Tina. It is a very interesting situation. And that is our show for today, folks.
Join us next time on the 5 p.m. podcast.